Hello everyone and welcome to round 4 of the NUS Invitationals. We're continuing our coverage of the board 1 players, and this time with the white pieces Jonathan Goh from NUS Team A once again, and his opponent is Jonathan Chan from SP Team A. And now before the game, Jonathan told me that they played so many games together that they know almost everything about each other's opening. And so this is gonna be a very interesting match. And I know that the last 2 rounds have been kind of underwhelming, but I promise you from now on, it's all gonna be quality games, all right? And so we know that this is a quality game because Jonathan plays the move B3. He's playing the Nimso Larsen attack. And this is still a very normal setup. You want to play e3, you want to put the bishop on e2, or because there's no other place to put this bishop, and then castle. And black just does very normal stuff. Black has a very solid game plan. And now Jonathan plays, okay, sorry, both are Jonathan. So white plays c4, and then black plays e6. So this is still a very solid structure. The trade doesn't happen soon. Uh, and Jonathan plays d4. Now black plays d6, and players continue to develop. Both players plop their knight into the center, and black castles. And so eventually what happened is that black says that, okay, you must trade with me now, because if not, I'm going to win the pawn here, right? With all these trades, eventually black's gonna win the knight. So what happened next is that white trades the knight and trades another pair of knights, and black chooses to take the d pawn so that we can force the bishop away, but the bishop opts for trade instead. And the black says that no, I don't want to trade, and white goes for d5, trying to break open the center. And this pawn is pinned. You can't take because you lose a queen. And so black strikes back with f5, and white takes the pawn. Danger levels, you can't take the bishop because you will lose the queen. And so what happened is that black takes the pawn back, and white threatens checkmate, which, surprise, surprise, that did not happen. If not, this won't be very exciting. And the bishop goes back to e2. Now, in this position, black played bishop e7, but black actually had a very strong winning move here, rook d7, and this threatens the discover attack on the queen. And so you must say, okay, the queen has to move, right? So let's say the queen moves to c3, a very natural square. Then what happens is that you play bishop b4, and the queen really only has one square to move, and that's c2, and then rook d2 comes in, and you're winning everything. And so let's say, okay, you don't play queen c2, you play queen e5 to try and trade off the queens. And okay, so white will go for it, and now this is still too strong. The bishop has to go back here, and you're gonna lose the rooks. Rook is on the second rank. The other rook is gonna come in. Black is too dominant in this position, and so this was a very unfortunate miswin by black. And he went for bishop e7 instead, and white plays c5, bishop f6, and after this, this is still fairly equal. Bishop c4 attacking the queen moves, and rook d1 and rook d8, so they both stack up. And now, instead of taking back with the queen, black opts to take back with the pawn instead. Now, this is slightly dubious, because now you have weaknesses. This pawn is now a weakness, because the queen is the only one uh, guarding this pawn. And what happened next is that uh, uh, the rooks get traded, and now the queen is attacking both pawns, and black can only guard one, and black chooses to guard the f6 pawn and loses the a5 pawn. And this is where it really starts to crumble for black, because white's queen infiltrates, and is now threatening checkmate once again on g8. And so really black has no choice, no other move other to defend against checkmate by trading the bishops away. And then white is able to gobble up another pawn and another pawn. So now white is up 3 pawns, and there's really and then white finds this move that forks the king and the rook, and black resigns in this position. And so this was a very good fight by the other Jonathan. He was actually better at a certain point of the game, and it's just unfortunate that he wasn't able to capitalize on that, and the game ended with a win by Jonathan. Jonathan continues to be the board 1 player. And so based on the, take a look at the individual standings. So there are only three players, Yan Hao, Jonathan, and Eunice, with who have won all their games, and eventually they're going to play each other. And the team standings are as follows. NUS Team A is now leading the pack with one whole point, with 13.5 point and 1 point advantage over SUTD Team A. And NP Team A is closely behind at 12 points. Hwa Chong is 11.5, and SP Team A has 11 points.